Welcome back to Time Dota Manila Major Fastcast. We're in the semifinals, upper bracket, MVP versus OG. I'm actually pretty excited for this matchup. It should be an entertaining series.
I believe both these teams went 2-0 in the quarters against their respective opponents.
I think so. Either way, they've both been looking really strong. And the
Beastmaster.
IO made through the ban phase and got picked right up with this beast.
The IO update. Brought to you by Baga Baga.
That's my only casting analysis in the draft. It's IO.
Where's
in or
IO?
out.
Yeah.
Or just not present, you know? I mean, there's a third option. There's a secret option C. Mm-hmm. And okay, drafting. Yeah, so...
So MVP with a Juggernaut pickup. I haven't seen too much Juggernaut as the hard carry, but he's definitely more aligned with the sort of ganking style that Bounty Hunter's going to bring to the table for him.
The last time I saw Jug was on No Tail, actually, and they used him really well. Chipping away at the racks, would come up, spin,
and
then just take down the racks. It was free BKB. It was wonderful.
Okay. OG, meanwhile, gets the IO DK combos. Going to be good. Dazzle is a big team fight support. And Beastmaster obviously gives you a little push as well as some team fight. Yeah, interesting pick with the Morphling. Not sure how that's going to work out.
I don't know. It's a lot more mobility.
Yeah, should be fine.
You can move Dragon Knight in with IO and have Morphling just kind of jump on people.
All in all, neither draft seems hugely an advantage against the other, so it should be a good, should be an interesting game. 4
heroes buying wards. That's pretty special. At least in my pub book.
Oh, already D-ward in the Radiant Jungle.
No Tails just deciding to block the lane as long as possible. Oh, and he got a nice block off, actually.
Oh, early action in the off lane. Beastmaster takes a full Omni Slash, or not an Omni Slash, but a Spinnination from Juggernaut. What is it?
Whirl. No.
Is it called?
No. Tell us in the comments.
It's a dual mid lane. Ember is being helped out by... Oh gosh, where'd he go? Nope, he left. I take it all back.
We've only played like thousands of hours of this game and we don't know.
Oh, Bounty Hunter's in the neighborhood terrorizing the DK, who's supported by the Dazzle, interestingly. So the
Dazzle's kind of moving from offlane to mid. Beastmaster's kind of hanging out closer to center.
Okay. Well, it's IO Morphling in the safe lane.
Saying, hey, you don't get any free farm.
Against an Axe offlane who's moved into the jungle. That's interesting. I would feel like Axe would have a pretty decent advantage against Morphling early.
If you don't have the positioning in lane, you just go get your farm in the jungle and come back. It's just it's optimizing how many kills you can get. Last hits, whatever. Phraseology. It's not my strong suit.
It's early in the morning here in America, so.
First tower down was a deny. That's always
warming up our brains. Here's First Blood's gonna break out, I bet. Dragon Knight survived with a shallow grave.
Dazzle and IO doing work right now. There was no Dazzle. What? There was Dazzle.
Dazzle was there, but he died. So I think First Blood went MVP. I think they got the kill first, and then Dazzle went down. But a 1-for-1 trade in the mid, and we finally have some blood spilt.
That was just really impressive, the shallow grave keeping DK alive long enough for IO to tether in.
That was perfect. I mean, Dazzle's a great hero with DK. IO's also has great synergy with him, so maybe we'll finally see.
Man, once the dunk is available, shallow grave doesn't mean as much.
That's a very good point. Another 1-for-1 in the mid, I believe. Or no?
There's 2-2, so that at least happened somewhere.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad you guys are watching Fastcast with Time Dota?
But all in all, I think we can agree that early game has been rather quiet.
Yeah, just kind of bobbing around.
Both teams just lose their off-lane tier 1, but nothing too exciting about it. And we've got a Smoke MVP moving in to maybe defend their tier 1. They do engage, but it doesn't look like it was a good decision. They lose 2 just for an IO and the tower.
They lost their tower.
So OG
definitely came out on top there.
Definitely.
Look at that. Boom! 4K. Not too shabby.
And now OG is grouped top, or at least has 3 top to get the last tier 1 on the board, off the board. So there it goes. OG with the map control and kills early game. And I think that was to be expected. That OG's going to have a strong mid game. the way they've built this team, strength and Healy supports. Down goes Io, and Morphling maybe to follow.
Io's a tasty.
Oh no, he remnanted away.
Just ready to be gobbled up if he doesn't have support around him.
So MVP gets a kill, takes a tier 1, and drops some wards. But meanwhile, OG pushes out and takes the tier 2 top. So another.
It's not a great trade. Io's very expendable.
Yeah, Io is expendable. The tower, less so. OG grouped up and gets a Juggernaut who is all on his own.
This is starting to look very one-sided.
Yeah, so I mean, OG just has a little bit more mobility to group up and take team fights.
A hell of a lot more farm.
Or even just ganks against solo MVP heroes. I think MVP really needs to focus on sticking together at this point, or they're going to run into trouble. So here's a 4-man smoke.
Really set up for that. I mean, they want Bounty to be roaming solo.
But they're going to get... Oh.
Wow.
They go on a Morphling, can't get the kill. OG responds, gets a Bounty Hunter, and they're chasing MVP back.
Morphling has a Lincoln's.
Pretty fast. Yeah. So, yeah, OG is just in a much better position. The only success I see MVP having is picking off supports, and that's just not going to be enough.
Well, even if they do, Io brings in their hard carry to say, hello, no pick off, thank you very much.
OG smokes and moves mid. Gonna take a tier 2. First a gank on the Ember Spirit, who's all alone. Witch Doctor's TPing back.
Their own lane?
Well, they were smoked, so it was a gank in that it was a surprise. But it wasn't a gank. You're right. It was a smoke because it was a team fight. I mean, it was a 4-man gank. So however you want to, whatever you consider that to be.
Smoking into Roche, no, smoking into jungle.
MVP smokes and moves into Radiant jungle, looking for trouble. Don't find any. And they only have one outer tower left. It's a good one to defend Roche with, but
it's looking pretty dire for the dire, if you will.
So MVP gets the engage
and Io comes in with his Morphling. This is just 2 to 3. There was a moment there where I thought it was going to go for MVP's favor, but it didn't. Let's take a look at the graphs.
Excuse you. Yes, OG playing it a little slow here. And there's a smoke towards the mid. They've got a lot of vision via Beastmaster creeps. They see that no one was in the secret shop, so they push on through to the tier 3 mid. They pick off an Ember, they get a Rax, and now they retreat.
I don't see a way out for MVP here.
Yeah, OG knows that they've got such a commanding lead in this game that they don't have to be too pushy. They just grab a Rax and say, that's enough for now, we'll get more later. MVP does a big, almost kamikaze smoke. They run all the way to the Radiant base, don't find anyone, and now are retreating. OG's not being aggressive off that, however.
That failed smoke was a lot of time and experience lost if they were just everywhere else on the map.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit more of an opportunity to try and catch up, but I think they're with us in that they agree that like catching up it's going to take a big fight for them to get back in this game, not just catching
it's
up and farming.
It's definitely OG's game to throw at this point.
Yeah. I mean, even if you get Juggernaut as farmed up as the Morphling, he's still very much a one hero target.
This is a very passive game.
One target hero.
They keep spinning around the map, being exactly opposite each other. It's kind of beautiful in a sad way for MVP.
We've seen a lot of that kind of play style from pushy lineups, and neither of these teams is too pushy. I mean, Beastmaster a little bit, otherwise kind of more aligned with team fighting or ganking. So yeah, I agree. At this point, I would have expected OG to kind of go for the jugular, but they don't need to, so they're not. Instead, they're in the Roche pit, and they're going to pick up. This is Roche number 1.
Roche number 1. That's how you take high ground.
Yeah, so that should be enough for them to casually get a pick off and finish off the mid racks. After it looks like they're going to go for the top or bottom racks first.
Ooh, trying to wrap around.
Yeah, MVP goes with the wraparound, and they get smoked. They buy back, and they get picked off.
There's nothing you can do about this.
2 racks.
The GG's, there's the GG's.
Yeah,
there
it's done. So
that was a very one-sided game.
It was.
I'm surprised DK won. My superstition is not has not been confirmed through the scientific method.
DK won. So maybe a little bit of outdrafting. Anytime you see Wisp make it through with a big strength hero, and it worked well with Morphling and Dragon Knight, you got to tip the hat to OG there. Good strat, executed well. 8-0 and 6 Morphling. You just gotta
5 Ember. That's painful.
Gotta regroup and try again next time, MVP.
All right, OG takes game 1. Thanks for watching.
Game
Come
2.
back for game 2. Bye bye.